Yo, it's it's the SCOTT, and welcome to another installment of Original versus Remake, where we are taking a look at Nightmare on Elm Street. In 1984, Wes Craven gave us Nightmare on Elm Street, and in 2010, some dude named Samuel Bayer gave us the remake. Now, I'm going to compare the two and give my overall thoughts between the two and decide a winner, as I usually will do. Starting off with story. Now, the stories are somewhat similar with a few changes made in the remake that I don't think help it. But the basic thing is the same. Freddy Krueger did something in the past. He paid for it when the adults rose up, the adults of the parents of the kids that he harmed, rose up and got revenge by killing him. In the original, he's a child murderer, the Springwood Slasher. In the remake, he's a pedophile. And what they do with that story is they take it and they try to say that maybe he's getting revenge because he was wrongfully accused, only to then flip it around and say, no, he did everything he did. He just wants to kill them in revenge for getting caught. So that doesn't really work in the remake's favor. And making him a pedophile kind of pushes me away from it. The original, being a child murderer was bad enough. It was only implied that maybe there was pedophilia involved. But they tried to stay as far away from that as they could. Here they just decided, roll it right at him and see if it stuck. And for me, it didn't. It kind of pissed me off, to be honest. Overall, the same overall story beats are there, with us following a different blonde lead for part of the film before she is killed off, and now we're following Nancy. The difference is Heather Langenkamp was great in the role of Nancy. This Nancy is like a board of wood. That's it. And we'll get to the characters. But yeah, it's same beat with some twists put in there and an introduction of micro naps, which I like. But there are some things kind of just same and different, like names are different, and we'll get to that in the characters. But overall, the story beats are similar, with instead the endings being similar yet different. And I know that Bob Shea kind of threw that ending in there because he wanted to set up for a sequel. But I think it works better with the original than when they tried to copy it with this one. Because in the original, you weren't sure whether or not Freddy was still around or not. When she just said, I take all the power I gave you, I take it away. I take it back. And then you think it's safe. And then they get in the car and the thing pops up, the top pops up. And it's Freddy's colors. And then Freddy grabs the sex doll and pulls it in through the window. Oh, Freddy's still alive. But here, we very much see Freddy taken down. Killed, murdered, whatever. They definitely end Freddy here. For him to just show up and very bad CGI pull Nancy's mom through the mirror. It doesn't make any sense in the remake. Where in the original, even though it was tacked on, and Wes Craven didn't want it, and some people get pissed at it, it makes more sense than it does in the remake. Overall, the original gets the X for the story. Characters, well, let's talk about characters. They're very similar to the original. In fact, like I said, story beats are the same. You have our main character, Nancy. You have her friend. This time, instead of Tina, is named Chris, I think, in tribute to Kristen from the third film. She has a boyfriend who, instead of being named Rod, is Jesse. I think in tribute to Jesse from the second film. And he is also accused of her murder and put to jail. Then you got characters like Dean, who's a new character, and Quentin, who is the replacement for Glenn. And they pretty much serve the same point of characters. Same point as being in the film as the original characters do. Some things have changed a little bit, like the whole, they were all in the same preschool class, and they knew each other from before this. That works. And the way the actors are put, you got actors in the original like John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, Heather Langenkamp, and Johnny Depp and Robert Englund, but we'll get to that, putting out fantastic performances. And in the remake, Thomas Dekker, Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown, Connie Britton, Rooney Mara, which we'll get to, Kyle Gallner, and Katie Cassidy and Cullen Lutz. They give good performances for the most part. Katie Cassidy is fantastic in the role that she has. She does such a great job in this film. As well as Thomas Dekker and Kyle Gallner, they give it what they have, what they got. Connie Britton and Clancy Brown don't really have a lot to chew on, especially Clancy Brown, who's a great character actor, can do a lot. He doesn't have much to chew on here. And Rooney Mara, what the fuck were they thinking with her? Now, you may sit there and, hey, she's just portraying a character the way the character would be. She's tired, she's exhausted, she's not giving out any effort because that's the way the character would be. Yeah, but I got a counterpoint. It's been proven and very, very public that Rooney Mara hated working on this movie. She hated being the character, she hated taking the role, and she badmouthed this movie and the horror genre in a whole, and she blasted everything. She did not give a shit in portraying this, and you can tell there's a guy with blades for fingers and a dirty red and green sweater. She does not give two shits about this role. There are a couple of times where she's screaming where you think she might, but she does not give a shit. Now let's talk about the big one, Freddy Krueger. In the original, he is portrayed by the legendary Robert Englund, and he's one of those, those slashers, like probably one of the only ones from back then that were portrayed by the same person for every film that went through. Here, in the remake, it's portrayed by Jackie Earle Haley. And no one can replace Robert Englund. Far from it. But if I had to pick someone, Jackie Earle Haley would be that pick because he does a great job. He's no Robert Englund, and the rest of this movie surrounding him might be crap, but he delivers at least one hell of a performance as Freddy Krueger. To be honest, I was not scared of any of the other Freddy movies. This is the first and only Freddy movie that made me jump. I don't remember what it is, but it made me jump. And even some of the lines that he has. Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet. They say the human brain can stay alive for 6 minutes after death. For 7 minutes after death. We got 6 minutes left to play. I like it. And the dog one. I was just petting him. I like him. He's no Robert Englund. When it comes to characters, it goes to the original. Atmosphere in this, I gotta say that the remake kind of handles the atmosphere pretty good. It is kind of jarring when you have, in the original, the thing was you never knew whether or not someone was in a dream until it started to hit that, oh shit, just in a dream. Where here, you get this transition, and it's very jarring, and while it's an interesting idea, I don't really like it, because it's, like I said, it's jarring. It's like, oh, okay, we're doing this. It's a dream. There's no left to wonder, is she dreaming, is she not, until Freddy shows up. And even some of the dream sequences in the remake are trying to copy the original. Like this scene in the original where Tina's body is in a body bag and being dragged across the hallway. Nancy, they copy that in the remake, but they do it with Chris. But it doesn't make sense in the remake. In the original, they were all at the same house when Tina was murdered. She would have seen Tina get put in the body bag and put into the ambulance. In the remake, she wasn't even near Chris when she was murdered. So she wouldn't have seen nothing. So it makes no sense that she would see it. The dream sequences are interesting in the remake. And like I said, they introduced micro-naps, but they're not fleshed out enough to anything other than just using it for, oh, she ends up getting exhausted. Now Freddy can play with her for as long as he wants. But then Quentin just injects adrenaline and now she's awake. And so the whole speech Freddy made was just to bring him back into the real world. And they copied that from the original too. Oh, in the original, it was very, very dark. It's dark in the remake too. The original had some cool moments like stretchy arm Freddy and cutting off the fingers. But overall, the original wins for atmosphere. dialogue. Now, there's not really much change in dialogue. Maybe a few more F words in the original, but for the most part, it's the same. I put dialogue in there as sort of, because Rob Zombie's Halloween was the first one I was doing. So dialogue might not be a thing for all of them. So I'm just going to give it a cross through the board because they're about the same. There's a few things changed, pedophile and kindergarten and stuff like that. But overall, I have to say the more enjoyable one of the two is the original. The remake's not bad. It's probably one of the better remakes out there, and I do enjoy Jackie Earle Haley's performance. But if I want to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I'm going to watch the original. And therefore, the winner is the original. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you like the original? Do you like the remake better? Are you in that small little boat that likes the remake better? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. You're all my children now. I love that line. I'll see you in the next one.